it Wimmer, Jake? I always say it.
Wimmer. It's Wimmer.
Wimmer. See, I do that every time. I knew that I was going to do that this time. Oh my gosh, Wimmer. Okay. Anyway, Jake is one of our current clients, and so I asked him to join us for a podcast for our Construction 2030. So here he is, live and doing well. Do a quick intro, Jake, and tell him about you and what your job and what you're doing. It's amazing.
Okay, I appreciate the time. My name is Jacob Wimmer. I am the Capital Improvement Project Manager for Mid-Continent Public Library. We have a library district of 3 counties, 34 branches, Clay, Platte, and Jackson counties in the Kansas City area. And we are currently towards the end of a capital improvement project of about $113.2 million, where we are either remodeling or rebuilding all of our libraries. So we're touching them all in certain ways, and we're using My Smart Plans to process all the functions and the procedures and all the documentation as we go forward.
Yeah. Okay. So not to change the subject, but to change the subject. I love the story about your wife. So tell us about your wife.
My wife, we've had a recent job change, but she used to be a lead pastor at a very large church in the Kansas City area, and now she is working as a recruitment advisor for IBM. So.
Oh, well, there you go. That was a change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always loved your stories about our sermons. It's so much fun. Anyway, okay, so I think the thing that I've so enjoyed about our meeting and working together was your previous employment brought you to this position, which, I mean, that was, again, kind of a miracle, the way that all thing happened. But tell us about why you knew it was so important that we were there to support your projects. What was your previous employer?
I kind of had a dual role in my past. I've been in the National Guard for I retired 2 years ago, but I've been in the National Guard for over 31 years, and for 20 of it I was a contracting officer. And so as a contracting officer, you're responsible for all the projects that you go forward with. I dealt primarily in construction, but I also did regular contracting for services and goods as well, both domestically and internationally. And so from a documentation viewpoint, it's always important to have your documents where they're easily reachable and where you can easily get to whatever document you may need. In addition to that, I worked for the Boeing Company for 17 years before moving to the Kansas City area. And again, I worked in the contracting area. My main customer was the United States Air Force, and I dealt with them on an almost daily basis from a contracting viewpoint. And again, my key thing, because my company had gone paperless probably about 5 years before I came to this position. And in going paperless, you have to be really cognizant of where you're putting your documents and how to easily retrieve them and how to get them and go forward. And the My Smart Plan system seemed like a really good way to carry that on, where we wouldn't have to figure out, okay, where are these contracts stored, or where is this construction documentation for the Riverside branch, for the East Lee Summit branch, for the Colburn Road branch. Where is this documentation that we might need to talk to our vendors or the folks who did the construction or who installed the certain appliances that we have? So I felt like it was very important. And when Shelley came to me with the My Smart Plans idea, and I looked into it and I learned more about it, I thought it was the ideal thing to do for this project.
Yeah. Okay. You know what else I love? I love hearing. Oh, first of all, I went to one of your ribbon cuttings. I don't know. It was a little town. Where was it? In Gower? Is that right? Gower?
It's a good question. You might have been in. I think you might have been. It wasn't Camden Point, was it?
Maybe. Yeah, it was Camden Point. Yeah. But anyway, you know what I love, Jake? I loved everyone that worked at the library was so excited about the library, because it's like this. I don't want to say this type of person, but it is that type of people that love knowledge. And I thought it was ironic that we're creating a library for you of all your documentation and you're building libraries.
Yep.
So it's the kind of parallel. Also, I don't know if you know or not, but the Air Force has now engaged us. So we did our first prototype project with them. And it was the first time they had no modifications and no RFIs, I think it was. And anyway, we actually got invited to their ribbon cutting. So Dominic and I are flying for our big reveal. But anyway, I love what you're doing with all the libraries. You're not just making them a place to go get a book. You're now like encouraging like community in the libraries, which is fabulous too. So tell me about your favorite library that you've done, that you've supported so far.
Well, so each of them has a little bit of my favorite project, so it's hard to say. But what I will say is the one that because it was my local branch, I've received the most feedback on is the Colburn Road branch, and we took this. It was a 15,000 square foot building. It was over 20 years old, and we razed it to the ground. We moved the building back on our property, and we turned it into a 33,000 square foot, what we call a destination library. Each of our counties has a destination library that has a special project that's kind of aligned with it. And Colburn Road one is a small business. Kind of a little plug for the library. It's not just about books. We really strive to serve our communities. All of our librarians, I love going in and watching our librarians interact with the public. They're so enmeshed with the people that come in, and they're always willing to help out. As the small business, as an example, at Square One is one of our partners, and they're located now in the Colburn Road Library. So if you've got some small business ambitions, you can go in and get some advice. And they're very good at what they do. They've got lots of success stories. So that's something that's available to the public that a lot of them don't realize. And so that's another thing that I really like about the library is we're really trying to, again, people come in for the books. That's really a big favorite. I've always been a big reader. I'm a lifetime library user, so for me this has been a kind of a dream come true. But the big thing about it is all of our librarians are focused on their community, and I really admire that. It's a challenging time to be in this with the COVID-19 behind us. Well, hopefully it'll be behind us.
Yeah.
But just all the things that they've had to go through, from shutting down to coming back to curbside to opening up the library to now we got to go back to doing the masking, and that's very challenging when you're dealing with the public at large.
Yeah, my grandchildren last year, they spent their summer at the library. We live in Platte County, so it's right there by, I don't even know the name of the road, but it's right there. I can see it in my mind. But anyway, so my youngest grandson was having trouble reading. And so he went, my mom took him, and every day he put on his earbuds or his headset, and he was learned. He was taught to read at the library. So my mom would go and sit beside him, and he had his little headset on. She would send me pictures. She's like, Shelly, look what we're doing today. They call me Sugar. Sugar, look what we're doing today. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so now this little boy is 6, and he can read anything. I mean, he reads everything. Sometimes we're like, Cal, where? Well, that's what that said, Sugar. This is what this said. The other day he told me, this is so funny. We went to Taco Bell, which I know that's not probably the most nutritious place to take your grandchildren. But anyway, I had him for 8 days. So I was like, eat a Taco Bell. So anyway, we're eating the tacos. He goes, Sugar, these are the best tacos I ever had. I mean, why don't we always go to Taco Bell for Taco Tuesday, which is right by the library?
Yeah.
And anyway, I'm like, well, that's a good idea. He goes, well, how much did all these tacos cost, Sugar? And I said, well, they were about $14. So Sugar, let's see, if I'm homeless and I have 20, I could go to Taco Bell and buy all the tacos for my day at Taco Bell, and I would have food and not be homeless. I go, yeah, but imagine if you got a job at Taco Bell and then you got free tacos. But it all stemmed from his curiosity that the library sparked in him and showed him this tool. The auditory was so important in his learning capabilities. And so there's so many resources there. I love it. Okay, so growing up, I had a favorite librarian. Her name was Miss Vulture, which I never dreamed that I would own a company that builds libraries. I mean,
Right.
or like, digital libraries. So anyway, I would walk in, Miss Vulture would say, "Hello, Shelley," and she's like, "Pippi Longstockings is on aisle whatever," she would tell me. And she knew when I came in, when I came out, she knew everything about what I loved. And that's what your libraries are building is it's building curiosity in our world of these learners that I'm so intrigued. I just am so intrigued. I think your staff is amazing. Okay, but wait a second. One of your libraries, didn't you create a cooking kitchen or something? They were going to do cooking classes.
We're working on that right now. That's our destination library for Platte County.
Oh, that's the one that you're just starting on Green Hills Road?
That's right.
Huh. I just hung my sign up. Did you see my sign?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, why was that a wrong place?
No, it's fine.
Oh, okay. Because we did it. My mom and I went to the farmer's market. Then it was Sunday. I'm like, Mom, come on, go put up my sign with me. So she did it Instagram. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's my sign. The little things that bring you joy when you run a business.
It's one of those things, and everything. This is going to be a really great project. It's going to be another 33,000, 35,000 square foot building. We're going to have 2 incubator kitchens and a teaching kitchen, and of course the library and a cafe. So it'll be a really exciting building to visit.
Now, are you going to have like brand coffee there, or I mean, in your cafe, or is it going to be like, I don't want to say the word Starbucks, but
No,
what?
no. So we try really hard, and we've been successful so far in bringing local vendors to our cafes. For
Oh,
instance, the Colburn Road Cafe has Post Coffee, and our North Independence Cafe also has Post Coffee. And then I think, well, I know that once we open up our cafe again at Woodneath, it's going to be another local vendor. So we concentrate really hard on bringing local folks in forward, because that's really what we're trying to. Again, we're trying to the public at large and support. And it's not. I have nothing against Starbucks. Don't get me wrong.
no,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I don't think it would be within our our mission or what we're going forward with if we were to put Starbucks in as our cafe. We
Yeah.
really should have going. And I have to tell you, I'm not a coffee drinker, but I've talked to a lot of folks, and Post Coffee, they really knock it out of the park. So you need to go visit that Colburn Road branch.
Okay, well, I'm a coffee. I used to be a coffee freak till Sunday, and I OD'd on coffee. So now I don't know if I'm ever going to drink it again. But if I do, I'll go. I always love local coffee. It's so much fun for me.
Yep. Yep.
So anyway, well, I want to thank you for your time, and I love serving your projects. And I'm here if you need anything. And again, thank you. And any closing remarks you want to make?
The only thing that, as you were talking about your grandson and everything, and it reminded me that what I always used to tell my daughters was, reading is knowledge, and knowledge is power. And I've always tried to invoke that in them to try to read forward and go out, and I firmly believe that the more you read, the more you learn. And again, that also goes into the whole, learning is knowledge, knowledge is power. And I just think it's so important for us to continue to push that. And I'm really glad you gave me at least some sort of a platform to go forward with that. I would tell anyone that's listening to please go visit their local library and check it out. You'd be
Okay.
surprised.
Yes. Have a fabulous day. I'm sure I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, you take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.